People always ask me, Mitch, how much money do I need to trade full time? Mitch, how much money do I need to risk if I'm trading full time? Mitch, how big does my account need to be if I want to trade full time? And all these questions about how they can double their income, supplement their income, trade full time, or basically transition from where they are now to where they want to be. I'm going to talk about everything that you need to do to trade consistently, profitably, and full time. Now, to start off with, we're going to go through some limiting beliefs. Do you believe you can make $100,000 trading this year? Okay, let me know in the comments. Let me know. Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe that you have the skills to make $260 a day? Yes or no? I'm going to basically categorize majority of you into two different categories, okay? Either your monthly income from your current position is between $4 to $8K a month, which is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a week, or you earn between $8 to $12K a month. Most of you will fit into these categories, either one or two. Now, if you earn $4 to $8K a month from your existing salary, well, your goal from trading should be double so you can replace your income or supplement it. Now, if you're earning $4 to $8K, that means that you need to make $50,000 a year if you're on the lower side, or if you earn $8K, it's $100,000 a year. Okay, so that's the goal that I'm going to tie down for this session. $4 to $8K a month, you're in category 1. Your goal from trading should be $50,000 a year. If you're in category 2, your goal from trading should be $100,000 a year. Now again, I'm not telling you that this is what you are going to make. This is not any sort of guarantee, and I'm only providing factual information for educational purposes so that you guys can see the reality and the figures and the numbers and the data behind this. So if you are in category 1 or 2, you're either 50K or 100K. So let's break that down and see what does the actual breakdown look like. Because if you have a goal and you break down that goal into a step-by-step plan and you take action, then you will have those dreams come true sooner or later. And so if you're earning $50,000 or $100,000 a year and you want to double that, that's your goal from trading. You need to make either $4,000 a month or $8,000 a month, depending whether you're in category 1 or 2. If we break that monthly goal down into a weekly goal, it's $1,000 a week or $2,000 if you're on the high side. And to break it down into a daily goal, because obviously the markets aren't open 7 days a week, that means $200 a day or $400 a day if you need to earn 100K per year. All right, is everyone following along? Does this math make sense? Now I have rounded this up and down slightly to get these numbers even. Okay, so it's not exactly to the cents, but these are roundabout figures. Okay. Now let's break it down one step further, because here is where we have this opportunity, or I should say we're lucky enough to be living in Australia and we pay for everything in AUD. But what do we trade in, guys? What's the currency that we're currently trading when we're trading the markets? USD. So what if I said to you $200 AUD if you're in category 1, or category 2, 400 AUD, you only actually need to make 130 USD or 260 USD if you're on the high side. Now, if I had gone through that entire breakdown, and I want to ask you again, who now believes that they have the skills to make $130 a day? And so now if I ask you, do you believe that you could make an extra $50,000 trading this year, which is the 6 months left of the year, so that'd be 100K in 12 months, can you do it? It's possible, right? We're just breaking down the math. That's all we're doing. So how do we make sure that we have a plan in place to attack this goal using the data that we've just covered? Well, first we need to figure out what is the minimum account size that we need. Okay, so I would suggest that you be specific to whatever asset it is that you prefer to trade. Obviously, you know I'm an S&P motherfucker, so I've done it on the S&P 500. If you're a Bitcoin motherfucker, you can do it on Bitcoin, you can do it on Euro USD, whatever chart it is that you love. You obviously, a lot of you are specialists, or you're better at trading one particular asset, so you can apply the same logic that we're about to go through this entire session with your specific asset. But with the ES, you need a minimum account size of $8,667. You require $500 margin for one contract. If you're risking 3% on any given trade, that means your stop loss is not more than $260 away from your entry. If you're risking 1-to-1 in terms of your risk to reward, you're aiming for $260 USD, which is obviously that $400 a day target to make 100K per year. Or if you hit a 1-to-2, it's $520 USD. Now, you know the account size, you know the breakdowns in terms of the metrics you need to hit your goals. Let's look at the stop loss, because you obviously might be thinking, well, if I had a $260 stop loss, I'm probably going to get stopped out, right? So what does that actually look like? Well, a $262 stop loss, the S&P is currently trading at $6,000, so I've just worked off the current price, will give you a stop loss value of 20 ticks. So if your entry price was $6,000, your stop loss would be $5,994. We've already covered some limiting beliefs. We've broken down the financial goals, how much you need to make per year, month, week, and day. We know that when we convert that USD into AUD, it's only $130 a day or $260 US. We all believe we have the knowledge and skill to make that. We know the account size required to earn it. We know the stop loss and risk management process to place. Next, we're going to talk about basically our maximum loss limit. Okay, because we all should have, whether you do or don't, you all should have a maximum loss limit. So we break that down into basically an account size of 8,667. I'm going to give you a drawdown limit of 20%, which is $1,730. And I'm going to suggest that your daily loss limit should be 2 trades at 3% risk, which is $520 USD. Okay. Now remember, you can get a funded account and apply the exact same logic to a funded account. So instead of needing the $8,667, you can prove your eligibility paying a $199 application fee. So you can run the scenario both ways. However, let's just say that you do have this account. Well, you know you got A, B, and C class setups. We know that we're going to risk more on an A class setup than that we will on a B or a C. So we're going to allocate the full 3% risk to an A class setup, which is $260. It allows us to be wrong 6 times in a row and still have 80% of our account left. If you take a C plus setup, or C minus I should say, you have a higher probability of losing that trade. Would you agree? And if you agree, would you also agree you should lower your risk to match that C minus setup? Yep, cool. Absolutely. So we're all on the same page here. So if you have a C plus setup and you're just absolutely itching to click that button, you can still lose 19 fucking trades in a row, but have 80% of your account left over. But me and you both know you're not going to take A plus setups or B plus setups and lose 6 to 10 trades in a row. It's not going to happen, right? And because you respect risk management, you still have 80% of your account left over, even when you do have those losing streaks or those losing days or those losing weeks. But thanks to risk to reward and you being educated, you can quickly make back any losses that you incur along the way by having a 1-to-2 or more, even a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So we know at a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio, we could lose literally 80% of our trades, 70 to 80% of our trades, and still be profitable. We're not going to fall in that category. Most of you are going to be 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. Now, I'm trying to eliminate the greed that you have when you come to the market so that you can hit your goal consistently and achieve either a replacement of your current income or a supplement of your existing income. And we know that if we have a 1-to-2 risk to reward, then we could be still wrong 60% of the time, right? Which means we're only right 40%, but we're still profitable. Now, just to recap before we go any further, because this is obviously a little bit more data driven, we've covered the limiting beliefs, we've done the financial breakdown, we know how much we need to make in USD per day, we know the account size required, the stop loss and the risk management process that we're going to apply, and the risk to reward ratio that we need to aim for in order to still be profitable and consistent. Now, what I'm going to encourage all of you to do, regardless of what asset you trade, is figure out the average moving price. Now, I'm going to break this down into two components. Basically, regular trading hours and electronic trading hours. Regular trading hours is during the stock market open. So if you're trading the New York market, then regular trading hours would be when the New York market is open, right? Remember, futures is open 23 hours a day. So regular trading hours would only be during regular stock market hours. Outside of that, you move into electronic. So if we look at this historically, again, data-driven decision-making and data-driven breakdown, historically, the average daily percentage move during regular trading hours of the S&P 500 has been between -1 and +1%. Okay? I'll read that again. Historically, the average daily percentage movement of the S&P 500 has been between -1 and +1%. Remember, as a day trader, we can trade in both directions, so it doesn't matter whether it goes up or down. So what does that actually look like? Well, the price of the S&P 500 right now is trading at $6,000. A 1% move would be 60 points, which equals 240 ticks, okay? And 240 ticks is $3,000 profit. So if you're trading one contract, which requires only $500 margin, and you capture the entire 1% move, whether up or down, you could potentially create $3,000 USD profit, okay? Potentially. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We're not trying to capture the whole 1%. One contract on a 1% move equals 3,000 USD, but your goal, remember, is only 50K or 100K per year. So 50K per year means you need to earn 130 USD per day. If you divide that by 3,000, which is the profit from 1% move, and times it by 100 to get that percentage, you only need to capture 4% of that entire move, right? Or if you're trading, the 100K goal, you only need to get 9% of that move. Meaning, you can miss 90% of that moving price from 6,000 to 6,100, whatever it is, and still achieve your goal. Now, this is during regular trading hours, right? Now, you guys have seen sometimes I'm in the office, I'm putting, stuff together such as this for you guys today. And during making this masterclass for you that I'm showing you now, I made over 3K USD just today, okay? But I did that in electronic trading hours, which means it was outside of the regular stock market open, okay? So when you're outside of the regular stock market opening hours, what is the average moving price? Well, for the Tokyo session, it's between 0.2% and 0.5% of the index value. If you're trading during the London session, it's between 0.5% and 1% of the index value. You can go back and backtest yourself and set your own standards. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually quickly show you guys. Let me see if I can pull something up for you. Show you how easy this is, and we'll see how accurate I am. I'm going to remove everything. And the only indicator I'm going to put on is my sessions indicator. Okay. Now remember, what did we say? We said the average moving price for a Tokyo session is between 0.2 to 0.5%. Okay, so if I go ahead and put my sessions indicator on, if you don't have it, DM me, I'll send it to you for free. I can see the Tokyo box, right? So we'll spend a couple of minutes here and I'll show you how I want you to backtest this. Because don't take my word for it. Don't trust anything. Go and do the backtesting yourself and get the evidence for yourself. Now, if we get a price range, we drag it out from this Tokyo session, 0.5%. Go to the last Tokyo session, 0.3%. This one, I'm gonna go up to a 1 hour time frame just to make this quicker. This one a little bit more volatile, 0.8%. But that would obviously be a deviation from the mean. Tokyo again, 0.4%. Okay, so you can see straight away my point, right? I'm not going to go any more than that. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 7 days, so we've got a week of data straight away. And we can see in the past week that my stats, my data that I've presented to you tonight is pretty accurate based on this. Would you agree? Okay, now this is all going to come to fruition. You're going to realize why this is important in a moment. Okay, because I want you to have an understanding of what the average moving price is during a particular session that you're trading so that you can set your expectations accordingly. Again, I'm going to remove all of this because now that we know we have that data, we know that we're right. This is why today, some of you saw my trade. I took a trade on the Tokyo session, and this was my trade here. This was my entry. We had divergence. You saw the screenshot from before. I had a buy signal, had enough probabilities for me to take a trade outside of regular trading hours. Now, I know that the average move during a Tokyo session is between, what did we say? Between 0.2 to 0.5. So if you call it, they're in the middle, 0.3, 0.4. Well, what I did is I measured out my range. Again, not my trade, but the Tokyo range. So during Tokyo session, from down here at 6,000 and up here at 6,005 or whatever the numbers were, that was a 0.3% range. Now, because I know that 0.3% is the average daily range of a Tokyo session, which we just back tested for a week and saw that data in real time, this was enough for me, along with coming into a prior resistance, to just say, okay, I'm going to take my trade off the table. I'm going to lock in my 2K USD, whatever it was, and walk away because I know I've reached that daily average range. I've taken a trade that met my rules. I'm not looking to get the most out of it. It could keep going. I don't know. But I've actually taken this based off data and logic, not emotion. You guys can see a little bit better on this screenshot here. Okay, so could that have broken past that resistance? Of course it could, right? Because anything can happen at any time, and I don't have a crystal ball, even though sometimes it might seem like I do. I'm using logic, probabilities, and data to make educated decisions, all right? And that educated decision today, you can see I took profit up here as we approach that resistance, because remember, we always want to look left and see where was the prior support, which will now likely act as resistance. We hit that resistance target. It also matched up with the daily average range. So I took the profit off the table, I walked away from the computer, and I went and did whatever else I wanted to do with the rest of my day. And you can see from that point, we essentially just went sideways for like the next 2 hours. So had I stayed in that trade, I wouldn't have made any more money, and I would have been glued to my chart. And this is a simple piece of information that you can utilize and apply to your day-to-day trading so that you can set your expectations when you are in a trade. So next, I'm going to introduce you into something that I call stop, lock, and roll, right? Traditionally, you might know this as stop, drop, and roll, or whatever the firefighting saying is. But stop, lock, and roll is something that I call stop loss in place, which we know is 3% max. Lock in your profits. So that means set a daily target at a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So if your goal is 100K per year, and you know that you need to make $260 a day to hit that target, well, if you hit double that, which is 520, call it a day. Lock in your profits, roll over, go to sleep, and come back tomorrow. That's what I want you to do. Okay, you can do this through TradeAvate. If you're trading with TradeAvate or whatever your broker is, most of them have risk settings that you can go in. You can set your max daily loss. You can set your maximum take profit targets, meaning when you hit $500, it's automatically going to pull you out. And whether that trade could have gone to $1,000 or $2,000, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Yes, you could have made more money, but what I'm trying to teach you is discipline and consistency, because they're the two ingredients that are going to allow you to be profitable over a long period of time. Okay, so if you hit your daily target or double your daily target, that should be enough for you to roll over, go to sleep, close the laptop. And I want you to not do this based off your own instinct. I want you to preset this with your broker, whether that is through Tradeovate or whether you're trading a funded account. You can come in, you can set those account risk settings with a personal daily loss limit and a personal daily profit target. It is fucking simple, right? And this is what helped me, because I am talking from experience here. Remember, you know, a wise man learns from someone else's mistakes, and a mistake that I made consistently was I could make $1,000 a day, no problem. But I was greedy, like a lot of you are, and I wanted to make more. I was like, oh, it could break through this resistance. It could keep going, or it hasn't closed below my EMA, or I don't have invalidation. And so you stay in the trade longer than necessary. You end up losing more than you would have, and it means more screen time and less profit, which is not what we're trying to optimize for. All right, we're trying to optimize for less screen time and the most amount of profit, which you can see is what I do day in and day out. All right, now what I want to talk to you about is something called learner bias and outcome-oriented thinking. Okay, learner bias and outcome-oriented thinking. So what is learner bias? Learner bias is a misconception that skill comes from knowledge alone, and learning more will make you better at something. That's like a fat fuck who wants to spend all day researching diets instead of actually going to the gym and putting in the fucking work. Okay? You can't just sit there and research the best diet and think that you're going to have a six-pack by the end of the year. More knowledge and more research doesn't equal more results. So outcome-based thinking or outcome-based focus is basically to learn a new skill, your brain needs dopamine. And so just how we teach animals, such as dogs and cats and so on and so forth, with treats when we're trying to teach them how to sit or do a trick, all we're doing is giving that animal, which has a brain just like us humans, a hit of dopamine and reinforcing a good behavior. Okay, so the issue that most of you guys have, and when I say you guys, I mean like the entire population of retail traders, including myself once upon a time, is that we only get dopamine when we see a green P&L, right? And so our outcome is focused on our P&L. Like, we only get that dopamine hit if we make money. If we don't make money, we don't get that dopamine hit. Would you guys agree? Majority of you right now are outcome-based thinking. Glad you all agree, right? Transparency is a big thing here at MMT, and this is why I love my community and all of you guys in here, because we're open, we're honest, we tell it how it is. So how do we fix outcome-based focus? We need to switch to system-based focus, which is allowing your brain to be rewarded for following your process. Not just for winning, but for following your process. So even on losing days, even on red days, if you stuck to your system, your brain still gets its hit of dopamine. And that allows you to stay consistent. This took me years to learn, guys. Years to learn. And I'm giving it to you so you can learn from my mistakes and try and flip the script in your brain so that you can get the dopamine hit that you're looking for when you follow your process, even if it is a losing trade, right? Because what we do know is that we can't control the market. The market can do anything and go anywhere at any time. All we can do is make decisions based off probabilities, based off data, and based off past experience. So was there a part in this journey where it kicked in for you? Yeah, it was around the year 2 to year 3 mark for me personally, but I'm trying to get it at the 3 month to 6 month mark for you guys, right? So I'm trying to teach you this sooner rather than later, because you should feel exactly the same about a losing trade that you do about a winning trade if you followed your fucking process. If you didn't follow your process, that is going to absolutely eat you up. Maybe you FOMO'd in, right? Maybe you entered early. Maybe your rules weren't even fucking met. You just wanted to click the button because you were watching the chart for 2 hours and you felt like you needed to make money. Whatever the reason is, if you take a loss and it's something that you don't follow your rules, it's going to eat you up, and it should. And I'm the same to this day. If I take a trade that doesn't meet my rules, even if I only lose $100, it will hurt me more than losing $10,000 on a trade that met my process or met my edge or met my rules. Is this making sense? Do you guys understand what I mean by learner bias, outcome-based thinking, what the solution is, what you need to flip the script in your head? You have a checklist, you have the knowledge, and this is the recipe to success. I'm trying to give you the information you need to succeed, because there's 3 components to this, okay? There's knowledge. Okay, now knowledge, you guys all have the fucking knowledge. You paid to get the knowledge, you've got the knowledge, you have the knowledge, okay? So if you have the knowledge, the next thing you need is discipline. Discipline means that you only take trades that meet your rules. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. But when you only take trades that meet your rules, you get dopamine, and the dopamine reinforces the positive behavior, which is going to be you taking, when you take A+ setups, you get A+ profits, and you're going to start to rewire your brain so that every time you take an A+ setup and you follow that checklist, and you tick that off, and you know that you're trading with logic and conviction and probabilities, even if that's a losing trade, and even if you lose $200, $500, or $1,000, you should still get that dopamine up here. It's not going to happen overnight, but first you need to be conscious of it. Second, you need to have a plan. And third, you need to implement it. And so this is the information I'm trying to deliver for you on a golden platter, or a silver platter as they say, so that you can actually apply this to your trading plan. You can put this information to work and you can do something with it, right? Because there's only 4 ways that a trade should end in. So number 1 is a large win. If we can't get a large win, what's second best? Small win. So if we can't get a small win, what's third best? Break even. Okay, and if we can't get to break even because we're professionals and we have a trading plan and we follow our fucking trading plan, what are we going to risk? What's going to happen? Small loss. Small managed loss. Now, following the process and everything that I've taught you is exactly how I locked in 200K in 5 trading days. I set up the account live with you last week. Less than 5 trading days, I got funded with 200,000 US. So we're talking 350 Aussie. We got funded. We did it twice. We did one in one day. We're trading profitably, and we're going to request a payout hopefully next week. Maybe we can do it on the live, and then I can give you the full-blown experience in under 2 weeks, from setting up the account to getting funded to getting paid out, and give an honest review on it. All right, but you guys can see for yourself that this is the exact same knowledge that I'm applying to my own trading. So what I want you guys to do for homework, all right, bit of an overview actually first. Obviously, we've recognized and overcome some limiting beliefs, and we're now focused on system-based thinking, not outcome. We understand the average movement of each asset. We're going to study that and backtest it so that when we are trading, we know when we should be taking profit. We know to respect risk management with A, B, and C plus setups, which if you're taking C plus setups, you're going to lose the most amount of trades, but you can still lose 19 trades in a row and have 80% of your account left over. And that's why risk management is paramount. I want you to focus on the 4 outcomes: small loss, break even, small win, large win. They're the only 4 outcomes we should have in any given trade. Define your goals, break them up clearly, take the information I've given you today, apply it to your asset, work out the average moving price on the asset that you trade, and use all the logic that we've covered today to put together a plan in place so that you can supplement, double, or replace your income. Now, your homework is going to be backtesting those ranges like we showed you how to do it, creating your max daily and weekly loss limits with your broker or with your funded firm, whoever it is that you trade with. Visualize your monthly goal with individual trades and work out your risk to reward so that you know what you need to hit to achieve it. 5 minutes until the market opens. Let's fucking go.